Want to know how our Disney vacation will help you buy and sell a house?
Stay tuned to find out. Hey, it's Hal Cone.
And Chris Cone with Cone Realty Group.
This is your first time to our channel. Please make sure you leave a comment or click that subscribe button so you're notified each and every time we release a new video about living, working, and playing in the amazing Roanoke Valley and beyond.
Yes, and if we can help you buy, sell, or invest here in Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, Smith Mountain Lake, and beyond, give us a call, send us an email, or shoot us a text. Hey, what is that on your shoulder?
Oh, that's my souvenir from our previous trip. We were gone for 2 weeks, praise the Lord. We got to go to Orlando. We got to actually go to the EXP Shareholder Summit, which was amazing because, you know, we are brokered by them. And then we also got to take the kids to where?
Disney World.
So this is my souvenir from going there, right? Because I had to have something.
It is not. Our youngest daughter bought this. It was just adorable. We didn't even know what it was. We're not big Star Wars fans. Sorry. Apparently, we're the only ones that don't know that this is a Borg and is so precious.
Yeah, we asked somebody on the Skyliner whenever we were taking the gondola. Is that right?
Skyliner.
The Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios. So they were had those Star Wars shirts on. They're like, oh, that's a Borg. We're like, oh, okay, now we know. So thank you.
Then we said, are they good people, good little creatures, or bad? And they said good. So we were cool with that.
Cool. Yeah.
So yeah, it was interesting. We had a fantastic time. It was our first time to Disney World as adults, and taking the kids. They are young. They're below 10. And they had a great time. We're not really Disney people, but we had a fantastic time.
We had a great experience.
Vacation.
And as we're there, you know, it's like we had the work brain shut off. However, there were still times throughout the process from the very beginning to starting to think about actually going to Disney to the actual opportunity to be there and go through a whole week of being there. That we kind of picked up some tidbits and some knowledge. We're like, man, this is really cool because we can actually use that and as a reminder at a minimum in our business.
Right. So we took away a lot of lessons that we're going to apply to our business from our Disney World vacation that will only help you buy and sell a house more efficiently, more stressless, and make it a positive experience that you should hopefully walk away from saying, wow, that was great.
All right, so the first principle that we learned from our Disney vacation experience that you can apply to real estate as well is making sure that you're prepping properly for that experience of a lifetime, whether it's Disney or a big financial purchase when it comes to a home or selling a home.
Absolutely, yeah. And the first thing that we encourage you to do, and what we did, was ask friends. Talk to friends about it. Say, hey, I'm thinking about buying or selling. How was your experience? What was it like? What should I avoid? What were some of the pitfalls and the triumphs that you had? So that really helped us. We had a few friends that we could bounce ideas off of, and they could even explain very basic things. This is your data gathering stage where you're doing a lot of research and trying to just figure things out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I haven't been since I was like yay high, probably our youngest daughter's age. It was like almost 50 years ago because I am 52. But anyways, so when Magic Kingdom first came into existence, there was one place. It was Magic Kingdom. There was no Hollywood Studios. There was no Epcot. There was none of that. And I personally, my mom says, I like Wet n Wild, which is a park outside of the Disney organization altogether, because I wanted to ride the water slides and stay in the wave pool all day long.
Okay. So for our Disney vacation, we asked around. In your real estate experience, ask your friends, talk to them, find out what they liked, what they didn't like. I think that's the next thing beyond that was just like knowing your goals and your priorities as a family. Mm-hmm. For our Disney vacation, we really didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't know if one child gets motion sick, the other child is a thrill seeker, and it actually was vice versa on the trip. And we didn't know what to expect. But with our Disney trip, knowing our goals and priorities, it was really important. What were some of our goals and priorities?
I think surviving, getting down there and back, to be honest with you, and making it as smooth as possible, right? It's like we are of the mentality for us, we we like Disney, but we're not like, hey, we're going to go to Disney every single year, once a year, twice a year, like some people do. And if you're that person, good for you.
Oh, yeah.
We are not. Our kids enjoyed the pool at the hotel probably more than they enjoyed the park. But at the end of the week, they loved the park. However,
Right.
it was an experience for us that we just wanted to make it as fun as possible and for them to enjoy it, to have the experience, because we've been blessed to have the opportunity to make it down there, right?
Right, absolutely. So let's talk about your goals and priorities in real estate. A lot of people come to us on that first consultation call and they say, hey, I've got a spreadsheet, or I've got my want list or my need list. And I'm like, great, that's fantastic. Tell me about your family, what your goals, your dreams, and your hopes are. So do that as you're thinking about buying or selling a home. The next thing, we decided this was just way too much. I mean, look, there's like all these maps. Once we understood that there were like 4 parks, there's probably 5 or 6 parks I don't know about. And then we're like, where do we eat? How do we get to these parks? Where do we stay? How do we plan our day? What's this about Genie Plus and Lightning Lane? So we had to enlist the help of a professional, and they really taught us what we needed to know. We were able to trust them and their guidance and their leadership, and they made excellent recommendations, like staying on property. That was such a blessing. Mm-hmm. We stayed at Beach and Yacht Club. Fantastic. Highly recommend that. The food, they told us how to navigate food options and transportation. That was huge. We didn't know.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise I could just see us big deer in headlights once we got there, having no clue whatsoever what we were doing. It would not have made for a successful and fun experience by any means. Because I felt like we were stressed out enough, just go with the plans that we had. And, we're planners, especially her. So, I kind of like needed the plan this time too, Right.
It was a big undertaking and something that we were 100% unfamiliar with.
Yes.
So this is an easy translation in the real estate world. We encourage you to please hire a professional realtor, because they do this every day, just like our travel agent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And she's been down there a gazillion times.
Yes.
And she wants to do it on as frugally as possible, so that you're getting the best value as her client. And that's what we're looking to do as well. When we have that analysis with you, like your goals, your hopes, your dreams, your desires, like what's your budget? What can you actually afford? What do you want to afford? And we want to get you into that particular home, or help you sell that home to navigate to the next stage or phase of your life as well. Depending upon where you are, we want to be able to be knowledgeable and help you make the best decisions for you to reach your goals.
Yeah, and that perfectly dovetails into the next thing. Make sure you have really clear expectations of your professional. So we need it from our agent. We needed knowledge. We needed to be able to trust her, and we needed excellent communication the whole way, because there's like time issues with planning this huge Disney vacation. With even like making reservations.
Yeah, reservations for dinner, and we were actually in contact with her throughout the vacation as well, because she had everything laid out well beforehand that we were able to navigate and follow. However, things pop up, right?
Yes.
So things popped up. We asked questions. We actually canceled some of our reservations for eating.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. You learn as you go throughout the process. We learned a lot through our Disney trip. So we always ask our clients, this is how it translates to real estate, hey, what are your expectations of us? Are you looking for someone just to put a sign in the yard and help guide you through the process minimally if you're selling? Or are you a first-time home buyer and we need to really walk you through the process? Hands down, the 3 things that almost everybody says is trust, knowledge, and communication. And that's exactly what we needed from our agent.
Yes, yeah. For our travel agent provided all 3 of those.
Yes.
And we trusted her implicitly as far as like, yes, this is what we're going to do. We took the plan that she gave us. We modified it some once we got there. After we kind of got our legs underneath us, we started doing things. Okay, we need to do this. We need to do that differently. But, the whole navigating the app and stuff, for Genie Plus and the Disney app, that was just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, that was neat. So the next thing under this umbrella of, preparing is ask a lot of questions, because you don't do this every day. If you're going through this real estate transaction, You don't do this every day. We do. Same thing with our trip. We had a lot of questions. And as we did our research and we talked to people, we were able to naturally figure some things out. But we really leaned on our professional agent, and that helped us a lot. They answered a lot of questions.
Yeah, they did. And like we said, they structured a plan for us. They put that in place. You know, we had printouts. We had our app. You know, we had the tools that we needed to meet our goals of our family trip to Disney, right? So, you know, because they helped us navigate that, they helped us put it together, they answered questions, you know, they actually asked, you know, what we wanted to achieve, that type of thing. So we were able to, you know, enjoy it with minimal hassle and stress, as much as that can happen with, like, I don't know how many people at Disney every single day, right?
Right, yeah. So the last thing I would recommend, because this was our experience, is to be realistic and lower those expectations. We got a great piece of advice from our trainer. He said, you can't do it all. And I was like, well, of course we can't do it all. And then you get down there and I was like, I want to do it all.
And the kids want to do it all, right?
We have all these rides we want to see and shows that we want to do. And then by 2:00, we were done. I mean, we were like tapped out. It's so hot. Yep, there's my fan. Look, our daughter got this, and I was like, oh, let me have it.
It's a mister.
So hot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it was hot, humid. So we had to kind of like change our plans a little. It's like, you're not going to go from 7:30 in the morning till 10 at night, especially with the two little kids that we had, right? And for us, we were just tapped out. It's like between the heat, the humidity, the walking, the waiting in lines, the organizing during the day, we were like, okay, yeah, let's pivot a little bit and let's do this instead. So went back to the hotel, chilled out, kids got to play in the pool, and they had a blast.
Yeah, so let's translate that into real estate. We want to make sure that you have realistic expectations going in, and you kind of lower your expectations. A lot of people come in and say, you know, I want 20 acres and a modern house that has an open floor plan, move-in ready, everything that I need. And most likely, you're going to have to make some concessions and some compromises when you're trying to find a house that you love. It may be that you find a perfect house, and if you do, that's great, but we always like to say there really is no perfect house. You kind of have to give and take and go with the flow.
Yeah, you want to work through like, hey, what are my 3 or 4 max must-haves, and then everything else is gravy, I like to say, on top of that, because there's going to be something with every single house that you see that you're going to want to tweak in some capacity. So if you get something that you love 80 to 85%, then that is a definitely high contender in our opinion, and especially what we've seen in the current market, past market, in general with our experience with our clients over time.
Yeah, and if you can be realistic and flexible, it's more fun. I mean, one time the kids wanted to do something way off the wall, and we were like, hey, sure, why not? And we ended up having a great time. So that's what you need to do as you're searching for or selling in real estate.
All right, let's talk about the next principle that we learned regarding in relationship to our experience at Disney and how that translates over into real estate for us. And it's all about the guest experience. So, and if you know anything about Disney, it's all about making the magic happen, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the amount of strategy and planning that it takes. I wish you could see my stack of papers. Like, okay, I have the maps, of course, but with each one, I have this cliff note sheet, which happened to be our lifeline as we went along with the app.
I was going to think, yeah, but the tip of the iceberg before them was like a stack of papers, I feel like this, a PDF she printed off to like, just it took like 2 weeks just to wrap our head around the complexity of what this trip was going to be like.
Right.
And had we not had that advisor in the beginning, our travel agent, we would have definitely had no clue what we were doing.
Right, and I'm going to be fully transparent here. I did not enjoy how much planning and strategy we had to do. Every night or every afternoon, I would say, okay, let's plan tomorrow. This is the park we're going to, and we need to hit our priorities. And by the end of the week, the kids were like, ugh, I don't want to plan. I'm like, no. Well, I need help. This is a lot. And then I leaned on him at the park to really strategize out, like, okay, wait times, Genie Plus, Lightning Lane. We're going to hit this and that, and now we're going here, and then we're going to be able to mobile order our food, and I was like, wow, okay.
Well, and the great thing, and the good thing, even though it was a lot, you had the app, like
Yes.
you said, so it gave you wait times, it gave you walking directions,
Yes.
it gave you like, hey, this is when you log in to do your Genie Plus or your Lightning Lane, whatever you're going to do, that type of thing. But then even on each property, they had kiosks with people that were there to help you navigate, to help answer questions, you know, that type of thing. And then you also had like your photographers who were making the magic happen with like taking great photos in front of the castle and then superimposing like Disney characters. So that was all part of the guest experience, right?
Right, and people just being helpful throughout the way. So how this translates into our business and real estate in general is you have to make sure you're surrounded by a team that's helpful and they understand the process. Having a process in place to help minimize your planning and that stress that you feel through figuring out the strategy of the market is super important. So go ahead.
No, and I say I had a thought about that, and now it just fleeted my mind. So
well, I'll step in. We have some tools in place to help our clients make their home search really easy and fun and not overwhelming. And we try to shoulder a lot of that burden from them.
I know what it was. It was the fact that on the Disney side, you know, each person has some specific duties and they have a specific strategy and plan and process in place each day. So that makes it easier for them to perform at a high level to help make the experience great.
That's right.
And I feel like the same for us. It's like the more processes we have in place, and you know me, I'm Mr. like, oh, let's fly by the seat of my pants at times. But having these processes in place that we actually stick to and we utilize day in and day out gives me a comfort to be able to provide the best service possible as well. So it can give you a great experience.
Yeah, and I think this dovetails into the stress behind this. With the vacation, we had traveled for 2 days. It took us 11 hours drive time, so multiply that with kids and stops, and we broke we
broke it up into 2 days because we didn't want to do a whole 11 to 13 hours in one day because we knew that we were going to melt down. We would melt down ourselves.
So I like that people at Disney recognize that. As soon as we walked into the hotel, of course they unloaded our luggage. They had a bellman. They had our room ready ahead of time.
Way early. We were really lucky. And they gave us a great balcony.
Right.
We asked them like, hey, can we have a balcony? And they're like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. And like 30 minutes later, we had a clean room and we had an amazing balcony.
Right. And it was personalized service. They had our name on the TV, which the kids were gaga about. They were like, wow. And then just the parks themselves. I mean, being able to handle the capacity efficiently was wonderful and still provide that personalized experience. So, you know, the ferry that we took over to Magic Kingdom had a 600-person capacity. And that was just wild to me.
Yeah, because for me, my eyes got really big when we got there because we had all these people that were like us running to the ferry because the monorail was shut down that morning. I'm like, oh, it's going to be forever getting across the pond to Disney, and it wasn't.
It was fine.
It was just fine.
Yeah,
it's a great experience.
And translating that into real estate, again, our goal is to provide as much of less of a stressless process as possible. There's a lot of hiccups. There's a lot of turbulence that goes in with real estate. That's natural. That's normal. But we try to protect and kind of shield you from that and provide a great service. And we have the capacity since we're a group.
And ultimately problem solve, right? So it's like, you know, when things arise, and same with Disney, it's like employees have to be able to problem solve. Same for us. And it's like, and we've got people strategically in place that do a really great job of what they do within the organization. So therefore you get kind of a seamless process and you get really, really top TLC when it comes to your experience.
Right. And the last thing in this blanket of the guest experience is exceeding expectations. I really like this one because at every little area throughout Disney, our expectations were exceeded. I mean, the food was exceptional. I was blown away by that. I was really impressed with the food. I was expecting like fair food, but we got scallops one night, very high quality. And then like
that was in Canada at Epcot. We got scallops and beef tenderloin. I was like, it was so good. So it was a little kiosk.
Yeah, and then communication via the app was exceeded our expectations. Also, just being able to walk through the park and know that it was clean. that was really nice. I did not see a lot of litter or detraction from the park itself.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So translating into real estate as well, we want to make sure that, and you need to make sure your professional agent is exceeding your expectations. You know, it's just needs to happen that they really focus on a personalized experience to make it wonderful for you.
Yeah, because I know whenever I'm looking for if I'm looking for a cheap hotel or something, I'm not necessarily expecting a 1 or 2 star like experience, right?
Right.
But if you're going to Disney, you're spending the money, you're actually spending money whenever you're selling a home or buying a home, then if I was you, I'm going to want that 5-star experience, right? So that's what I'm looking for as far as experience goes, to get the most bang for my buck and to actually get the best value and ultimately the best experience. So we gave you 2 huge umbrellas with a plethora of information in it, right? It's like it's a fire hose coming at you. However, I think we can break it down into something even just a little bit more simple, which would just be guest service as far as the overarching theme that you're going to need to be looking for, whether it goes to an experience at Disney or an experience in real estate.
Right, and I think the first thing is just delivering on promises. We went to Disney for a reason. They delivered on their promises. We had a pretty magical time, and it was just a wonderful vacation overall.
Yeah. And we say pretty magical because the heat and the humidity and walking around and sometimes the over amount of planning was a little tedious for us.
Right.
But I mean, I would say, 4 stars?
Sure.
4
yeah.
stars out of 5?
Fun.
Yeah,
I mean, and
we had a good
thing.
time.
Yeah, it was, and this leads into the next one. We made wonderful memories along the way. There were some hiccups, there were some problems, there were some meltdowns.
You mean kids melted down?
Yeah.
What about adults melting down?
That's true. We did have our moments.
And I saw some in the park melting down.
But throughout, we can look back and say that overall, it was a fantastic time and a vacation that our family will never forget.
Yeah, and I think the next piece of that when it comes to service is just like being available to help, right? So our travel agent for the experience was available to help. The people on property, 'cause I don't know how many employees Disney has, but oh my goodness, they have to have a lot to take care of all these people coming through those gates every single day and into the hotels every single day. So with that, like for us on the real estate side, that we've got people in place to be able to take care of you, right? It's like we've got an executive assistant, got a transaction coordinator, we got a showing specialist, you've got me, you've got Chris,
yes.
You've got all of us, you've got Mom, you got a whole slew of people that are there to serve you to make this the best experience possible based on your goals and desires.
Yeah, and meet those promises.
Yep.
And exceed your expectations and make this a memorable experience. So I think we learned a lot from Disney.
Yes, and if there's anything that you've taken away from your trips to Disney or any of your vacation planning or any of your large expenses that you're doing as far as like experiences of a lifetime, we'd love to hear about them. You can send us a video, you can do a comment, you name it. Get in touch with us, let us know what you have learned through your travel experiences.
Absolutely. And so I have to ask, what was your favorite, most memorable Disney experience?
Oh,
what was your favorite thing from the trip?
Oh, let's see. It was not soaring because I had like this much sweat on my palms because I got scared of heights all of a sudden. But I don't know. I think riding Slinky Dog actually with the kids, they just loved it. And our youngest, we figured she was going to be scared to death because of motion sickness and other stuff. But oh my goodness, they both loved that. And our oldest, she squealed like a little girl, which is what she should have done. You would have thought that she was going to fall out or something the way she was screaming.
Yeah, and that's at which park?
That's at Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios. Yeah. I think my favorite memory of it was probably the fireworks at Epcot and just making the evening of it. We heard them all the time from our hotel. We finally, at the end of the week, got to go and just sitting around in the dark with the kids, watching the fireworks, and the energy of the place was just really fun, and it just kind of brought everything together.
Yeah. So share with us your experiences. We'd love to help you if it comes to real estate. If you would give us an opportunity, we'd love to have a conversation. So make sure you call us, text us, email us, and we'll see you soon.